Hey everyone, happy fall to you. Um, I don't usually start fall around my house until October 1st. That's a hard deadline for me, but I know a lot of people do. So happy fall. Hope you had a great summer. It's hard to believe September's almost over too at this point. I wanted to give you a market update today. Haven't done one since May, and we have seen a lot of things change, primarily the interest rate. So just want to give you the real deal for Frederick County, Carroll County, Washington County, for this particular region. I know, the media has a lot of sensationalism out there, a lot of national news, national data, and of course, we know real estate's very micro centered. So I just like to give you what's really going on, what we're seeing out there right now. Um, Start out with what we're seeing on the seller side. It's been kind of a shifting market, but it's a very slow shift. It's not going to happen fast. It's not going to crash. Nobody's predicting that. Are prices going to stop rising as fast as they have been? Yes. They said that initially, and it has happened. Um, are we seeing some price adjustments from sellers based on the fact that buyers have kind of pulled out of the market a little bit? They've got a little bit of downward pressure on them. The interest rates are driving all of that. So we're seeing some price adjustments. We're seeing some contingencies come back in where sellers are accepting house to sell, house to settle, home inspections, the closing costs for a buyer to help with closing costs. We're seeing some of that come back in. However, it's a case by case basis. So if it's a highly sought after neighborhood, if it's a prestigious house, if it's you're still going to be in a competitive bid situation, and we're seeing that too. So it is still, you really have to look at it on a case by case basis. Work closely with a realtor, preferably me, and so we can decipher and strategize and figure out what we need to do when we need to do it. Okay, I don't want to see people leave money on the table, but I don't want to see them walk away with nothing too, right? So it's still a very strong seller's market. Okay, however, we're seeing some things soften up a little bit as far as what they're accepting. um, Buyers, rates are hovering around 6%. As of today, the Fed just, I guess, announced they were going to do another short-term rate hike that will affect interest rates eventually. Um, so I'm encouraging buyers to make sure they have talked to a couple different lenders. The rates and the mortgage programs that are out there, it's not a one size fits all. So be sure you're exploring your options so you've got the right fit for you and what your long-term plans are as you make the largest purchase of your life for the most part, right? Um, and so even though the interest rates are dampening the demand, right? Some buyers have pulled out, so that's why we're seeing houses sit on the market a little bit longer. Um, it's still the inadequate inventory supply is still going to keep those prices and that demand at a high level, because our inventory level is so incredibly low. In Frederick County, we would have to have 1,000 houses hit the market for it to be a balanced market, and not a buyer's market, a balanced market. So we are so far off from that. I just don't see that happening soon or quickly. Um, but to get some more options out there for buyers is great. It's so nice to see that for the buyers. Um, Home ownership still is always a good option. It has so many benefits, long term, short term, and it's a hedge against inflation, right? So your conventional, for your fixed interest rate, doesn't get adjusted when inflation gets adjusted, right? Apart from your taxes being adjusted annually, that's going to stay the same throughout the loan period. So you don't have to worry about that inflating when everything else is going crazy around you. All right. So that's still a hedge against inflation, and always has been. Right. Um, the other thing is for buyers, if you're renting out there, rents are the highest they've been in 4 decades, and they continue to go up too, and they're hard to find also. The lack of housing, the housing shortage, whether it's rentals or purchases, is very serious in the country overall. It really is. But you can pay more for rent right now then you'll pay for a mortgage. So at a time when rents are going up, it's another reason to still consider homeownership. Um, the overall average interest rate since they've ever been keeping track of them is 8.5%. So we're still below average at 6%. Now I know that we've been spoiled for the past couple of years with some incredibly low rates, but in all reality, we're still below the average. Okay, so there had to be a correction at some point. So um, I hope this is helpful information. I hope you find it valuable. If you want to talk about anything, just reach out. Let's just chat. Doesn't have to be real estate. I'd love to hear from you. So give me a call. And until next time, thanks for watching. Have a good evening.